Step 1.
Instead of I say bun.
Why kiss my bun?
Or you're a bun's hole.
Step 2.
Say shit, say poo.
As in boo boo.
And this poo is cold.
Step 3.
With bitch drop the D, cause big is like more generosity.
Step 4.
Don't say fuck anymore, cause
Fuck is the worst word that you can say.
fuck is the worst word that you can say. We shouldn't say fuck, no, we shouldn't say fuck, fuck, no.
You're good, you can go.
Okay, so with that, hi and welcome to After the Hype with me as always, Brian, John, Ryan, and Chewy's here today.
Hi.
And then we have special guest Cara.
Hi.
I just blitzed past everybody else even getting a chance to say hello.
Hi. Oh, wait. Delayed reaction.
I've been just cut in one of my old highs.
Yeah. It's like we got a lot to talk about today. No time for anybody saying hi, but we do have time for where have you been doing, which we'll do first.
Oh, yeah. People do stuff.
Yeah, we do. I'll say my first thing, or my only thing really. I played a fuckload of Rise of the Tomb Raider this past week.
Ooh.
And I won't say much about it because I don't want to take up a whole much time here, but I will say it is one of those games where I can feel myself actively taking time, so I don't want the game to end too soon. Because it feels like a game I could blitz through, and I don't want to. I want it to keep going. I'm going to be annoyed once it's over. So it's good, is basically what I'm saying.
I watched Legends of Tomorrow this
No,
week.
damn it, I was going to do that one.
But you can both do it.
Can
You
we?
can, yeah, you
Yeah,
can both
yeah.
do it. You just
Yeah.
share.
Okay, we're sharing this one.
I had a good time.
So did I.
There's no substance to it. I
Oh,
mean, I don't
if
know if
you
it'll
d-
make a season 2, but I'm having a great time watching
If you
it.
don't know the other shows, like, you're just totally confused.
I'm already totally confused, and I do know the other shows and Doctor Who. I feel like I need to watch all of them to get
The
it.
moment it started with Rory, because I don't care about his real name, doing the time masters thing. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh my god, he's a time master. I want to see him fight the Doctor now. Be like, you're time lord, I'm a time master.
Dressed like Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just went all space mashup on this
It's
show.
so
See, that's the thing. He is the new master.
But I like Missy.
crossover.
Yeah. No, there's two of them. It's a weird time dilation thing.
Paradox.
It was a blast. I wish the White Canary had a white suit and not something that's been dragged through the mud.
Yeah.
Her
And
club
I also
outfit?
wish they had whoever knew how to write her character on the show, because they definitely are not writing her the same way she was in the other,
Right.
like before. And Khufu is still fucking annoying. Can we just kill him?
I like calling him Poo Poo, and it makes it so much better.
But you're in love with me. I've only known you for 2 months, but you're in love with me. How seriously? That's not gonna make any girl fall in love with you, man.
Okay, so we should move on to John.
Yeah, I'll just be really quick. I'm almost done with Fallout 4. I'll have more of an opinion later. It's okay.
Okay. Cara?
Well, I was going to go with how happy I was that Stephen Moffat was quitting. Okay, and then I was really sad that we're not getting a full season until 2017.
I'm kind of fine with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather them take their time and write
Or are they
something
gonna do
worthwhile.
partial things?
They're going to do like a Christmas special, and that's pretty much it.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're not gonna do like David Tennant, where we got a couple movies.
I don't think so.
That's lame.
No, it's not. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
Take their time.
Is
Write a
Capaldi
story
done?
worthwhile. No, he said he's going to do one more. He's done after 10.
Oh, then it's a little long. Like, if
Yeah.
they were rebooting totally a new companion, new doctor, new writer, new showrunner, they could take all the time. But
Well, and Moffat's still doing season 10. That's like his last thing.
oh, he's doing one more season.
Yeah.
So they're taking a long-ass break, and it's still the same people coming back to it?
Yeah.
Maybe he's gonna use that year to travel the globe and find the new perfect writer.
For Sherlock. Oh, what?
But is he quitting Sherlock too?
No, he's focusing on that probably.
I have no problem with them taking time to write it because
No.
I don't like when you get a rush season, you get a season like season 8, and it's
Which
just
was
like,
so
ugh.
disappointing.
Like I
Yeah.
don't, and then you get season 9 where he actually took his time on it, and it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Like,
so it's like,
we finally watched one of these episodes, finished it with the Vikings.
yeah,
Because I'm not caught up on the season yet, and that ended wonderfully. I'm very excited about that.
That was a good episode. Yeah.
season 9's good.
It is good.
I still haven't watched the Christmas episode. I'll get around to it.
Yeah, well,
It was
It's
probably
real good.
Yeah, it was a good Christmas episode
heard.
for once.
I've heard that. All right, so everyone's gone. We're good. We can move on
Gone?
to the.
We've all left.
Everyone has left
We
the
are
building.
we are
Show
out of
over.
here. I'm gonna
Okay.
sing on my way out. Farewell.
So speaking of singing,
Segue.
that was a pretty good segue.
It was
Almost if
okay.
it was planned. And, you know, it was the best ever, John.
Thanks.
The best ever.
That makes me feel warm inside.
Hey, speaking of feeling warm inside,
Okay, so today is our I'll say long awaited because I feel like saying it battle episode on musicals, And for most of the people in the room, I think we all like musicals. I wasn't sure how much Ryan liked musicals.
No, I'm not a fan in general.
That's what I thought.
What? How do you not like music? It's weird.
I'm really selective about them. John and I actually were kind of talking about this.
We
before
bonded over
started.
it. Yeah.
I like a few. I've seen a few live that I like, but I don't like. I won't enjoy a movie if it's a musical unless it's really good.
It really boils down to like any one thing could actually ruin the whole musical experience for me of a movie or a play. But those are a lot more frequent than enjoying something fully. So
My thing is, like, I'm a sucker for musicals, but I agree that it's like the film versions are always a little rough, and like they're a lot tougher to pull off for some reason. When I see them in like an actual theater, I don't usually care if it's bad or good. I just have fun going because seeing it live is something completely different.
Different energy.
Yeah. I think it loses something a lot of times when a movie is made out of it.
A lot of times, but I actually think today is a rather rare exception where everything at the table, at least that had a stage production, they did a really good job bringing it to film.
Yeah.
I say if it had a stage production, Ryan's does not.
Am I the only one?
Yeah.
Oh, great.
yeah.
Yours is.
That's why mine wins.
But I don't know where we should start. Does anybody want to go first?
Well, maybe talk about how we chose alternative musicals.
Well, we did. That'll be kind of apparent, I think. But yeah, we basically none of us chose like. One of them kind of did, so
Yeah, it's arguable.
it's arguable.
Let's keep beating around this bush.
Yeah, I'm just gonna cut all this out. This is just an
Well,
in
if we're
and
gonna
out
beat
point.
around a bush, then John should start.
Keep that in.
Well, but now I have.
But
no
now you have to keep the whole-
context.
yeah,
I have to
there's
keep
no
the whole
context.
boring
Yeah,
Yeah,
matter.
totally. He starts talking about his movie. There's the context.
Okay, so let's get started. John, do you want to go first? Can you handle it?
Maybe warm up with someone else first.
So John's gonna go first.
I can do
The
that.
second you try to deflect, you're
Yeah.
definitely going first.
He's beating around that bush some more.
Just trying to get that joke in there.
Got
It's
him
hilarious
twice.
the second time too.
I do things
All right.
twice.
John, your 10 minutes have begun.
All right, I picked Little Shop of Horrors.
Little shop.
It's one of those musicals that falls under that one where I liked every bit of it the first time I saw it, and I'm one of those people who doesn't like musicals.
Mm-hmm.
But everything from the music to the casting to the humor to the directing and all that, all those elements were great. And it's Frank Oz, so he tends to be really have a good balance of comedy, and it played well with music. I actually wrote things as I was watching it, and they're really dumb what I wrote, but I'll use this as a defense
Yeah.
because
Because it should be dumb.
the Greek chorus thing in the movie where they have the ladies that are just kind of singing in the background.
Yes.
Sirens.
Sirens.
Sirens. Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But they're, I feel like, because I've listened to a couple of cast recordings and stuff, and I feel like there was a lot more kind of energy in this, and they did a really good job of kind of getting a flavor of Skid Row, and
Well,
kind of.
There's something about with them specifically, I've seen the stage production a number of times.
Mm-hmm.
The movie's always better. This is one of the few where, especially even on today's, the movie is most definitely better. There's something great about that movie.
And the energy starts from moment one with them, and
Oh, yeah.
they really kind of give you a sense of what's going to happen, and give you that kind of. They set the tone, I guess, and they do it really well. And Rick Moranis
Is awesome.
is awesome, and you don't really give him enough credit if all you've seen of him is Ghostbusters or something else, where he's just he's still pretty great, but he's got some good singing voice, and
It's okay.
But
it's very Rick Moranis singing, which if you ever listen to his comedy albums, if you like it, you like it. But it's
Yeah.
not gonna be the greatest voice in the world, but it works.
and he's directed well. I think
Yeah.
he plays a very great Seymour, and
It's
has
perfect Seymour. It's like that part was written for him almost.
yeah, and just love him in it. All the songs. I tried to make a list of here's what my favorite song is going to be, and I wrote a list of all the songs. At the end of it, I was like, well, shoot, because every song I was like, ooh, this is my favorite song. Oh, this is my favorite song. And I guess if I had to boil it, no, I can't pick one. Sorry,
Pick one.
pick one. The dentist
Of
song.
course.
Good
Steve
choice.
Martin.
Yeah.
Who
Yeah.
doesn't choose.
I had actually forgotten that Steve Martin was in this, and I laughed my ass off as soon as he came, as soon as he was on screen, and that fake
Oh yeah.
motorcycle background. Everything about him was so cheesy and dark and great.
It was so fucking good. That was one of the first songs I had to sing as part of a choir. I had that
That's a
as
great
solo.
song.
Yeah. Really weird as a kid, but whatever, that's fine.
And that ties into all the cameos they did for this movie were pretty great. I'd also forgotten about Bill Murray, who I was
like-
also laughing a lot during that moment. Oh, yes!
Candy bar. I'm gonna get a candy bar.
And then John Candy was in there as the radio guy.
Yep.
Forgot about that.
So very weird.
And for me, my random moment was watching the sirens at the very beginning. We're like, wait, is that the girl from Martin? That is the girl from Martin.
They also change their outfit every single time you see them, which is pretty great because each one gets more and more outrageous.
Oh yeah.
And the puppet work is what I meant. All I wrote was the puppetry work in my notes, and that was good.
It's really good.
It's really good. I talk modestly, but I was like, wow, this is some amazing special effects. There's some stuff. There's some when the little plants start singing at the end, the very last.
Yeah, it goes.
They kind of like, oh, that's fake. But there are moments where Audrey too is so lifelike that is kind of creepy.
Oh yeah.
There's
they
a few
did
shots that are even framed where he's tilting his head up and ready to eat, and I'm just like, this is kind of scary.
And the amount of like puppetry that went into his like actual mouth of like actually getting it to like form words, like it's insane. Like it actually like forms as lips should form, and it still just kind of blows my mind how well they actually pulled it off.
And they paired the actor so well with the puppet that like it's
The voice actor.
the voice actor. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a great pairing, and the energy. Like Audrey 2 is a great villain.
Oh yeah.
Scary, got some attitude, and that duet he sings with the Rick Moranis,
The looks like plant food to me.
looks like plant food to me.
Yeah, I don't know the actual name of the song because it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean all the song titles are all wrong because I'm just like, oh, there's the key words.
Yeah.
But that moment was really great. What else do I got? I wrote down, "Goddamn that puppet work" a bunch of times on this. Each time getting more and more caps.
It's pretty good. I'm a sucker for puppets.
So I'm just a sucker for practical effects. And, like,
Yeah.
That's like one of the best ever. Like that fucking Audrey 2 is amazing.
And now I hadn't actually seen the original cut of this before until recently. I'd only read about it. I was like, oh, that sounds cool. And I'd seen the one where they get the suburban house and they
Yeah.
live happily ever after. And having seen the greatness that is that original ending, it just bumped the movie up just because it's so crazy. It goes like, this is really nuts.
I kind of like the happy-go-lucky ending. I don't know why. I feel like it fits the tone of the movie more. The happy-go-lucky ending with like the plant and like the little garden in front.
Can you see? Is there an alternate ending?
Yeah, there is.
Yeah.
Where like a bunch of Audrey 2s basically destroy New York.
So-
it goes way
Why
off the
didn't we
rails.
watch that?
So
Because we ran it on Amazon.
yeah, the version I watched actually had the original ending cut onto it.
Okay.
So I was like, wait, this isn't. I don't remember this. I don't remember Rick Moranis getting completely eaten
yeah.
and
Yeah.
Audrey getting eaten and everyone losing.
Well, that's
And
how
then
the
it-
play ends.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
it's super grim.
Okay, because I'd listened to the original motion picture or the original play soundtrack before watching this movie again. I was like, why does this soundtrack end on such a downer note about not on this amazing song about not feeding the plants?
Yeah.
And I think that's what kind of made that ending work in the movie too, is that we got to hear that song of just the moral of the story is don't feed the plants.
Yeah.
Very kind of anti-nature, which I think is hilarious.
Oh my god, just rewatching this movie with Brian, and then the moment the plant starts doing the kissy sound at him when he cuts his finger, and I'm just like, whose instinct would ever be to feed this thing? Burn it. Burn it now. So, like, I just started screaming at the TV.
I mean, I can't really argue with you. It's like, oh, this thing wants to eat me. Yeah, I'll kill it.
Yeah.
Kill it.
And yeah, just the chemistry of everyone is so good. I mean, there's really, before I start sounding like a broken record, there's not a whole lot more I can really say about it.
We
other than
haven't
it's
said
really-
anything about Audrey. And she's phenomenal.
Oh yeah, I'd forgotten how good she was. I remember the first time being like, that's kind of a strong presence on screen.
Yeah.
And I forgot how funny she was too.
Oh, everything about her, like her voice, like her antics.
Yes, doctor.
Yes, doctor. Yes, doctor. Sorry, doctor. Sorry, doctor.
Oh wait, doctor.
She's fantastic. Like the chemistry of the cast is really where I think you outshine a lot of us today. It's like they gel so well together.
Well, I was worried when I picked this because like, what if it isn't quite as good as I remember it, and I'm only looking through nostalgia colored glasses?
Yeah.
And no, the acting, the chemistry of everyone is so good, and that's another thing that will turn me off of a play or a musical or things like that. Is like if the chemistry isn't like from moment one great, I'm just like, there's something. They're not gonna fall in love and sing a duet together. That doesn't make any sense. I hate this whole endeavor. Musicals suck.
Well, one of the things that yours does better, not better, but actually, I think most of them at the table actually do this really well. Most. There's one that does not. Supremely does not. But it hired people who can sing. And that really, really pulls.
Well, I also
especially a musical together, because you can get like if we did like Sweeney Todd, if that was on the table today, it's like, why the fuck would you hire Johnny Depp? Even he said he can't sing. Like, what a horrible idea.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yours went for funny people who could sing, and like that's makes a world of difference.
Yeah, no, Johnny Depp angers me. When he sings, I'm just like, fuck that guy. I hate everything.
Stop it! Stop it now!
Yeah, like, just shut up. I'll pay you. I will pay you to stop for this experience.
I'll watch you play Jack Sparrow to the end of the time, but don't you sing again.
And yeah, I did double check to make sure that they were the ones who were actually singing and it wasn't a dub over, because that's the inkling. Like, oh, they're actors. They're comedic actors. They're not going to be able to sing. And no, they can sing.
Yeah, and they
That's
make
awesome.
it work. Like,
Yeah.
especially Audrey's voice is phenomenal. Surprisingly good for how squeaky her actual normal speaking voice is.
And her performance in this is actually better than the original cast recording, because I compared.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't like this Audrey. Because listening to that first, I was worried. Like, maybe Audrey wasn't that great of a character to begin with. No, she's got some pipes.
She really does. You have a minute left if there's anything else you want to say to close this thing out.
God, that dentist, Steve Martin. Like, he does steal the show.
He does.
So quickly. And I watched that musical number over and over again.
I called Chewie back into the room because she walked away for a second when he, after he does like the, oh, mama.
Oh, mom.
And then like does the boom, boom. Cause I'm a, and like that, I can't describe what he does, but that physical
if you-
move, I'm like, you have to see that. That was awesome.
It's almost an essential watching.
Yeah.
Of if you want to know what he was like as a comedian back in the day,
Yeah.
pull this out. There's other movies, but this is really good.
It's really, because it's not, it's a good look at him because it's not a Steve Martin movie.
No, he's playing something very different that you don't always get.
Yeah. All right. 5, 4, 3.
Puppets.
Feed me, Seymour. Feed me all night long.
All right. Who wants to go next? Don't all jump at once.
I suppose I could.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I'll go next.
Okay.
Trying to
You have
me
no
up
choice in this
more
one.
energy.
Go.
All right. For my movie, I chose the Rocky Horror Picture Show
Yay!
because it is one of the best movies and musicals ever created. Okay, maybe not movie.
There you go.
One of the
Okay.
most
Thank you
musicals.
Brian's
For-
face says
Waiting for
something.
that qualifier.
Les genre of transgendered and LB. I always forget.
Get the acronym right, asshole.
gay rights.
That'll work.
Close call.
It's a great movie. Fantastic.
Mine's better.
No.
It is.
In the way that it actually has a message, yes.
Yeah.
But mine is fun.
Oh, that pesky message.
Yeah. Message. Sorry, go
All
ahead.
right.
What?
If you haven't seen the Rocky Horror Picture Show, it is a phenomenon which gave us Tim Curry. This was actually his first big movie release in America. I think it might have been Susan Sarandon's. I don't remember.
I think
So
so.
it was her big. It was like one of her very first big things, if anything.
She's hot.
Yes, she was very hot in it.
And you see her in her underwear pretty much the whole movie. It's pretty great.
Yes.
Yeah.
You see a
And
lot of people in their
also-
underwear.
With Richard,
Yeah.
not Richard O'Brien.
How are your
With-
feelings about fishnets? Because you're going to see a lot.
Barry Bostwick
Good old Barry
was in his
Bostwick.
underwear, and
Sounds
his
like a baseball player. Sorry, go
Barry
ahead.
Bostwick hits a home run for a 3-point lead, and there he is.
3-point lead?
I don't know sports.
You
Shut
don't
up.
need the full 10 minutes, Chewie. Your
He gets
movie's
a-
good. Don't worry about it.
You really don't. You're
Okay. Well, it was released in 1975.
okay.
Before transgendered rights was really even a thing. Well, they're actually supposed to be transsexuals in the movie, but yeah.
It still isn't a thing yet. We're working on it.
It's closer now than it was.
Okay.
Yeah,
then,
yeah,
yes.
And budgetary-wise, they had 1.4 million, which when you're watching it, you're like, fuck, they did a lot with that money.
They really did.
They did
Yeah.
so much with that money. And after I did the Wikipedia earlier and I was questioning it, 140 million, that seems like a lot for a release back in the 70s. And then I look at the Wikipedia some more. It's never been pulled. And I'll just read it off Wikipedia right now. The film is considered to be the longest running release in film history. It has never been pulled by 20th Century Fox. Its original 1975 release, and it continues to play in cinemas to this day.
Oh,
Oh,
I
yeah.
see.
It
Yeah.
never had an official pull date, which
Yeah.
is
That's
amazing.
That's pretty cool.
And this is one big thing that's favored is that it has defined a cult generation.
Yeah, it is like almost next to like Plan 9 from Outer Space, like the epitome of the cult film.
I would almost say this one has more of a cult following than Plan
yeah.
9.
I know,
Yeah.
but I'm like talking
Strong
about the
one.
original, like
No, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I get you, but I'm just saying, like, when it comes to like, hey, do you want to watch that cult? Like, you think of like cult films, you almost immediately go to Rocky Horror, like every time.
and just based off like the phenomenon just in the country in the world, how it created. I know they did reenactments in front of films before, but Rocky Horror is a completely different monster, and you can enjoy it as just a movie, as just a stage play, or the two of them combined, and then it's the artist's participation just enriches it even to like the 10th degree. It's just everyone has fun. Even you say you don't necessarily like the movie as much.
I don't.
But you go to the show and you're enthralled. You
See-
feel so like amazing while you're watching it.
That's my one actual knock against your film, and the only reason why I don't think it's the best at the table today is because watching it at home, it's fine, it's entertaining. Like there's really cool parts to
I
it.
still love it
But,
on its own merits.
I get that, but like for me, it's like, okay, you guys stood in one room and sang like 5 songs. Like
There's way more than 5 songs in the movie.
no, I'm saying that they stood in one room. They did like the welcome to this room thing, and then the dude comes out of the icebox. Like they just keep standing in this one room, and just like the budget shows, and it gets kind of boring. But you put that exact same scene in a theater with 100 other people, and suddenly it's a fucking blast. It's like I just don't think the translation to home theater works as well as some of the other movies at the table. One horribly excluded.
I mean, what's
Okay.
the qualifier
But-
there? What's the
Yeah.
argument? On one hand, that's a knock
But-
against it. On the other hand,
but
that's
that's
a
also
great.
just-
No, I totally yeah. So it's
Whether
like
or not people like a movie in general, like you
Yeah.
can like
Right.
one movie more than the other. You don't like Kara's choice. Kara loves her choice. I mean, it gets to a realm of like, what do you like?
Yeah.
And
that's a
And no-
broad
and-
argument for the
I know, but
entirety
that's
of
what I'm
film
saying. I'm
genre.
like,
With that,
As a-
everyone wins.
I'm just saying that, like, when it comes to most films, I would like to be able to watch them everywhere. And with your film, I can watch it in a theater and have a great time, or I can watch it at home and go, that was fine.
yeah, I guess so.
But then to
But-
keep adding on to the other side of that too is that the
Just go for it, Chewie.
just go for it.
No, I just lost what I was going to say now.
Oh, I'm sorry. The fact that it's a movie that can involve such passion from an audience, you don't get that very much. Like,
No.
Yeah.
and a sustained passion from the 70s to now to
Like
forever.
it's reaching a new generation every generation. Like it's got such
rebooting.
It has no
You're
cultural divide in that way. It touches on something that people can relate to, and just like the essence of sexuality that the film oozes, with it like very few other films ever capture it, and it's not a gender thing. It's the beauty of it. Each one of them represents kind of a gender, but then they all become asexual at the end, where they're all dressed the same. And just how that comes together is just, it's beautiful. And it's amazing how it can bring so many people together.
Yeah, and that'll continue to be true generationally. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No one, like, it's one of the
Yeah.
few movies where, like, you don't really get tired of it. Like, you don't
No.
get tired of seeing it. But it's one of those things where, like, I think it gets a lot of people to watch it because even today, it still feels kind of taboo to watch it. Like, it feels
Yeah.
like it's a
Yeah.
little.
Like
Well,
you
for
wouldn't.
some
I would watch
reason-
my movie with my mom before I'd watch Rocky Horror with my mom.
Yeah, there's
The
just
gender
something- yeah.
divide, for some reason, is the biggest taboo, honestly. I don't understand why it still is, or we're breaking down barriers slowly. But we're getting there, and this movie was a trailblazer within that concept.
Well, it did kind of. I mean, this is calling back a few episodes ago, but it did kind of like what Mad Max did for like women in film. But this one just for more of like just the open sexuality, where it was said more about open sexuality and just being who you are because it never called attention to it.
No.
Kind of like how Mad Max did for women's rights by making it all about women without ever just saying this movie's about women. Like
Yeah.
it did
Yeah.
the exact same thing, but that is almost
It
impossible
gave us
to do.
a character that, even if you're straight, you think Frankenfurter's hot. Like, you are attracted to him or her, whichever way you view his Frankenfurter's character.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Like,
I wouldn't.
No?
He kind of
Are you
horrifies
telling
me.
me
He's kinda
that
scary.
if Tim Curry
But in a
came
hot way.
in and
Oh,
just
no,
whispered
no, 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 no.
anticipation in your ear, you wouldn't get chills?
It's a difference between Tim Curry or Frankenfurter. Because Frankenfurter, no. Tim Curry,
But
I love me some Tim
to
Curry.
me, Tim Curry is Frankenfurter. I know that,
Yeah.
that a lot of other people can capture a great performance, but he is that character.
I don't think I think Tim Curry made did the impossible of made a character. Like he made somebody who's
Yeah.
he made that thing. Like there's Tim Curry, then there's Frankenfurter. He made a character that is like I wish Laverne Cox luck because you can't do it. It's
You'll never. It's just the delivery of the anticipation line. Like I don't think anyone else is gonna be able to do that.
No.
or pretty much anything he does in
No.
that thing. The entire his opening song of the Sweet Transvestite, like it's fucking amazing. And even though like I told you as we watched, I'm like, what was the point of that scene? Like he just literally comes down in an elevator, and goes, "I'm a transvestite," and then leaves. It's like, what the fuck was the point of that?
It was
It's
just
still-
to
grand
show him
entrance.
all his glory.
See, that is how we should greet all our guests.
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Straight Whitey. Welcome.
I have glitter on today
Well, I mean, if you have an elevator in your castle, you have to use it.
for a grand entrance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Also, I don't feel like the film feels dated when you watch it. Like a lot of 70s musicals kind of feel dated now.
It has a very specific style that isn't withholden to the 70s.
Well, it's-
Exactly.
Because it went for that B horror science fiction-y thing, it kind of like sidestepped
Yeah.
being a product
Yeah.
of its decade.
Right.
Yeah. And I know just because of the budgetary thing that it had to have been in an existing space. At least
Yeah.
a decent amount. The laboratory and the pool scene were probably constructed, but then the rest of that might have been, I don't know, I have to put some research into it.
No, you're right. I looked it up as I was because I was getting supremely bored
existing
while watching
space.
it. So I was looking all this up.
And the songs, like this is another one of those movies
You have a
where,
minute left.
where the
Well,
songs
all the
are
songs
good.
are amazing. Like every song stands on its own. You can listen to the whole soundtrack and you can stop to any of the song and you'll enjoy each one of them on their own merits. The only song that ever I don't love it intensely is the one about Rocky working out. I'll make a man out of you. I think that's one.
Yeah.
That's to me that's the lowest grade song in the entire thing, and it's still
just 'cause you can't
pretty
relate.
high. Well, I can't. It's not.
The only
But-
thing you
and-
didn't touch on that I think is the best thing in it is the one part that gets me to belly laugh every time, which is where Frankenfurter bangs both Susan Sarandon and
Well, that
Boswick.
gets yeah.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
That is a
But
great
that
scene.
also gets into the whole like everyone's kind of almost not asexual, but everyone can love anybody.
I'm not even talking about that part. I'm just talking about the comedic timing of it is
Right.
It's perfect.
phenomenal.
And they're both stupid.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, you're not Janet. Of course, it's not Janet.
Of course, it's not Janet. Damn it.
Oh, there's just something so good about that. Would you want her to see you like this?
Like this, like hell.
Well, after we learn a little bit more about Janet, she probably would want to see him like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get her a whip.
She just wants to be touched.
Wants
Touched.
to feel
Oh,
dirty.
that song.
But we didn't even talk about Eddie.
I know.
Ah.
Yeah, you missed Eddie. You really missed.
I told you I should have constructed my thing.
It's tough.
No matter how much you prepare, you're never ready.
Unless you make a top 10 list, it's really tough to say everything you want to do.
It's the easiest way to do it.
I tried. Like I just got like this damn
Meatloaf
puppetry.
was in it, and Meatloaf is amazing.
Too late.
Yeah, that
Strike
doesn't-
that from the
doesn't-
record.
Does not count in her argument.
Whatever.
It is stricken from the record.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go in the middle because I'm the weird one.
That would mean you're next.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm volunteering for. Right now. Going.
Boom.
Start.
I'm going to volunteer now for going.
I volunteer
Are you
as
guys-
tribute.
Are you guys ready to listen to my...
You've already wasted 6 seconds.
So my movie is in some ways the oddball of the bunch and is kind of an anti-musical or an unmusical, but in some ways it is the most classic musical at the table as well. I'm doing South Park, bigger, longer, and uncut. Clearly, I mean, it's a beautiful piece of satire. It is modeled exactly after the epitome of a Broadway musical, starting with the Mountain Town song that is pretty much ripped straight from Beauty and the Beast, ending with the exact same song with more people singing it, and hitting all the beats in between. I was, I think, 14 when this movie came out, which is the perfect age to see a South Park movie.
Yeah.
Matt Stone and Trey Parker at the time had just come off of like their hottest season of all time, and actually when this movie came out, they were on like kind of a slump. But I still think it was a masterpiece, and it was the precursor to what they eventually did with Book of Mormon.
Yeah.
And I can't wait for them to make that into a movie. I hope they get the original Broadway cast for that.
Oh, they have to do it soon if they're going to do that.
Yeah, because again, I mean, South Park is pretty amazing in that it had such a series of highs and lows. I think
Still does.
Yeah. But I mean, it started out really like appealing to to its audience of teenage boys. And everyone kind of loved it, and then it got kind of like peaked a few seasons in, and then it had a really long slump. I don't think I watched the show from like season 7 to 15 or whatever. I don't even know what they're on.
Had a weird growing pain before it kind of morphed into what it is now.
Yeah, and then it kind of came back like really strong a couple of years ago when they started doing the maintaining storylines through the entire seasons. I think it really is hit a high point. But back to my movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. I think one of the South Park movie's strongest suits is the soundtrack. Not many people here have talked about it, but I think if I read you the title of every song in my movie, the hook is going to be in your head.
Yeah.
Uncle Fucker, Blame Canada, Kyle's Mom's a Bitch, What Would Brian Boitano Do? Up There, La Resistance, I Can Change, I'm Super, and then the Mountain Town Reprise. You could
Yeah, I know
sing
all
the
of
hook
those,
to
yeah.
all of those songs. I think it was a cultural icon among our generation.
Well, and it's a movie that is like you're not like your average musical, but they follow all those tropes and still somehow manages to package it, like you said.
Yeah,
And
well, I think part of doing or being good at any kind of satire is that you have to master the craft before you can do it.
Yeah.
I mean, the greats, I think this movie is right up on the shelf among the greats with Monty Python, with Leslie Nielsen's movies. The cast is great. It has Isaac Hayes. They got George Clooney, Matt Stone and Trey Parker, as usual. I don't know if you knew they were in South Park.
oh no, I didn't.
The thing that you're not touching on that I actually really do enjoy about the movie is I really enjoy the plot. Like it's just I honestly do. Like it is just ridiculous enough for me to actually have fun with it. Where it's really it's a campaign against swearing, which now if you watch the show, they swear up and down.
I mean, the reason I kind of avoided it is because at the same time, it's kind of the one thing that falls flat if you watch it 6 years later or whatever, 10 years later, because the kind of the war against censorship is dying down.
It's pretty much done.
Yeah, I mean,
and because of things like South Park,
it was
Well, the
amazing that this
censorship
movie.
towards swearing,
Yeah.
censorship
Especially
towards nudity
swearing,
is
yeah.
still a thing.
That's true, actually. And violent video games or whatever is definitely still in the news. But this movie came out 2 months before Columbine, which was just like amazing and sad timing for them because that after Columbine, it kind of embodied everything that they were speaking out against in this movie when they were like, a bunch of kids shot their schoolmates because Marilyn Manson. I don't know. Other than that, I don't know if the plot really did much for me.
I have fun with it. I really I liked the entire plot line of Saddam Hussein wanting to come back to Earth to rule by being Satan's gay lover. There's so much just
But
like
that's
ludicrous.
not really the plot. That's a joke.
No, but there's it's jokes, but there's story. Like the good thing about Trey Parker and Matt Stone is that none of their jokes ever are just surface level jokes. Like they really feel like they always come organically. Like it never feels forced. Even like with the Brian Boitano song, like it completely out of left field, but they reference it like 3 times before they actually get to the song.
Right.
It's just like everything has like it is so well crafted and so well made that when you get to it, it always like you can understand why you're laughing at it.
Yeah.
Which is tough to do. They even did that with Team America, which is nuts. Like they are so good at what they do.
Yeah.
It's scary. And it makes me hate them a little bit. Just a little bit.
I mean, that's my biggest argument for this film is it stands alone as a film. You don't have to compare it to a Broadway musical to enjoy it. I mean, it just mirrors all of the Disney films I grew up watching. And I thought it was a great piece of satire. And honestly, it stands alone as a great musical because they hit all of the beats.
And it's kind of weird that like there's a big movement for it. I think like 2 years after it came out to get like a stage production, and they just never had the interest in doing it because they didn't want to sell it. They didn't want to. Like, nah, if we're gonna do it, we're gonna do it, and we don't want to do it.
Yeah.
And, it's like,
and they made an original one instead, and it worked out way better for them.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like the funny thing is about those two guys that they really like. Hey, I want to do this thing, and then they're the best at it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, I want to make a video game. You made one of the best video games of the year.
Yep.
It's like, oh, I want to make a musical and make one of the best musicals of the year. And won a Tony, like, for fuck's sake. Like, they are amazing at what they do.
I don't know if it's that they are amazing at everything they do, or they set out specifically to do things that they think they can do well. I think it's probably a mix of the two.
It's definitely a mix of the two, but by doing it well every time, it really does kind of like create that look of like, no, we're just that great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I gotta say,
We're awesome.
if you compare them to the other TV show that does musical numbers, Family Guy, they really blow it out of the park.
Oh, it's not even a comparison. Like, yeah, it's
like Seth MacFarlane clearly loves musicals, but these guys know how to write one.
Yeah.
oh yeah, like there's a difference between loving it and paying homage to it, like Seth MacFarlane, and actually writing it, and actually like getting in the dirt and doing it, and that's what these guys do, and they're great.
Yeah. It's actually, I didn't realize until I was doing a little research before this how close some of the songs are to other numbers. It's really funny.
Oh yeah, they put a lot of effort into it. Like,
Yeah.
especially like I'm a big Les Mis fan. They put a ton of work into making a song that's like exactly like Les Mis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like down to like the color schemes to like where it takes place. Like they put so much effort
Oh yeah,
into
and on
making one
screen
Les
too.
Mis thing. Yeah.
And yeah, for being cheap, shitty 2D animation, they framed this movie like a musical.
yeah.
Like a Broadway stage musical, not just like a Disney show. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, depending on the song. Like
Right.
either they take their shitty 2D animation, make Beauty and the Beast, or they make the bar scene from Les Mis.
Right.
It's insane how
Or
much they're able to
Bubsy
do.
Berkeley for the swearing song, the F word song.
Oh yeah.
Jeez, okay. Which I think is my favorite
Oh
number
my god,
in that.
that creeps me out. Mackey's like the way his neck squeezes in the middle with his tie.
I used to sing that song all the time just because my mom would be okay with me singing it.
Yeah, it's the one song.
Yeah,
from
it's like the
movie.
one song is like, well, it's about not swearing, so I guess it's more okay. Sure, you have to swear to sing it, but
The message is good.
yeah,
It's a compromise.
it's a compromise.
So some of these movies at the table today are great, moving the movement forward for transgendered people, and some are just great for dick and fart jokes for teenage boys.
I mean, yours is probably I would say that's probably the best for the dick and fart jokes. If I had
That's
to.
some of
Yeah.
the most, like quantity.
Oh, it still holds, I believe, the Guinness World Record for most swears in an animated film.
I don't see that one getting beat.
No, probably not. It would be hard. Someone would have to set out to do
Yeah,
it.
it's like, how many did South Park have? We can beat it.
It could be the tagline on the poster.
Yeah.
More swearing than South Park.
Yeah.
More bleeping swearing than South Park.
Yeah, I mean, your movie did have like it had two little just like complete throwaway moments that killed me more than I think any other animated film ever. And it's really random. There's a part where a dude's sitting outside of Mackey's office and just goes meh. And for some reason, that kills me every time. And then when Kenny's first in hell and the dragon flies by and then poops fire. Yeah, like, I don't know why those two moments just killed
Wow,
me.
I really didn't play to my host on this
Yeah,
one.
that-
You like the weirdest random shit from
I
this movie.
really meh. I don't know why, but that kills me every time. You have 20 seconds left. If there's anything else you want to say on this to bring it home.
Just how much I really love when Cartman, when how much I really love when Cartman at the end turns his V chip around to electrocute the demons, and he ends with like tampon popsicle Barbra Streisand.
They
Like
really
only
hate
3 of the
Barbra
words he
Streisand.
actually said were curse words. The rest were just things they hate.
Oh, that's a good ending. You brought it home for sure.
Well, I
Streisand.
finished arguing for my movie like 2 minutes in.
You really
I had
did.
8 more.
And then we just got to talk about your movie. But that works. You or me? Who wants to go?
Should I just go so you can hate my movie?
You don't have to go for me to hate your movie. I hate your movie already. Like, that's
I know
already
you hate
going.
it, but like, should we just like get the elephant out of the room?
Sure, go for it. I want to hear you defend it because I do know people who like the film. I think it's the worst thing ever.
Well,
made.
I'm going to preface it with saying I like this movie for terrible reasons.
Okay, that I can get behind that.
It's okay
Okay.
to like movies for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have
Oh,
9
am
minutes
I-
45
oh,
seconds
okay.
left. Get going.
Sorry, it's my first time, guys. I'm a little nervous. So I chose Repo the Genetic Opera, which is Brian's favorite movie, as we've learned.
Oh my god, I hate it so much.
Brian who?
Brian
Boitano.
Brian had the same face watching this movie that I do when watching Transformers.
I was going to compare this to Transformers actually because I like that movie for shitty reasons.
It's a 2008 American. I'm going to read the Wikipedia because I think it's just funny. They call it a splatterpunk rock opera musical comedy horror film.
words.
I think that was
Let's just
self-described.
throw words in
by them.
there.
Yeah.
If I could audibly like roll my eyes, I would.
I thought Wikipedia banned like the content creators from writing their own Wikipedia articles.
Well, this was in 2008, so maybe.
Oh yeah. No, they didn't have moderation back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no one's looked at the Wikipedia since.
Jimmy Wales is like, no.
The plot is a post-apocalyptic future in which technology has taken over and everyone has basically organ failure, mass organ failure, because technology and that. So there's a company called GeneCo who buy organs, or you can buy organs from. But unfortunately, if you don't make your payments, they come and repo you and kill you, essentially.
Which is the same plot that they used for the Jude Law movie that came out like 5 years after this one.
I saw that movie.
Yeah, but this one's a musical, so it's better.
Yeah, the other one has Jude Law though. He's so dreamy.
Yeah, this has Anthony Stewart Head singing, which I
can't argue with that part. I do like him.
he could sing me the phone book, and I'd be okay with that.
I'd be like, hi, Giles.
Yeah, hey, Giles.
I'm just going to sit here.
You can repo me anytime.
And he has split personality in it, too, so...
Dang.
Is
Yeah.
Paris
Two heads
Hilton
for
one
one.
of his personalities? How does she end up in the movie? Paris Hilton?
Well, she
Oh.
plays a slut who can't sing and is addicted to plastic surgery and drugs, so herself.
Wait, and then what does she play? Oh,
It was her self role.
It's really the only problem with her is when they actually have to have her sing, and it's just like, oh god,
Well, they cut her short.
they do,
Yeah.
and they definitely auto tune
with
the
a hook?
fuck out of her. But
And it's kind of... I like it in the fact that it's set up the whole time that she's a terrible singer.
that's true. That does make it a little bit better.
Unlike... my one criticism of the movie is that Alexa Vega can't sing.
Oh my
Not
god,
even
she
a
really
little.
can.
I had to leave the room when she started singing the 17 song.
Yeah, I skip that one
Why-
usually.
Why do they feel the need to keep the original actors in a movie like this? It's not like they're going for the credibility of, we kept Johnny Depp singing.
I think because they were all like they all got along through all the thing and whatever, and the grave robber is also one of the creators, so I don't know.
Well, he can say it. Then.
oh
Yeah, the grave
Yeah.
robber can sing.
he can sing.
Anthony Giles can sing.
Giles.
Giles is
Sarah
great.
Brightman can sing.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah, that one kind of goes without saying.
Well, she's amazing.
How they ever convinced her to be in this movie is like, I hope she got a really big check.
Yeah.
Just a really big check.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you're the original from Phantom of the Opera. You're amazing. What else have you done? Repo the Genetic Opera. Get out of my house. just go away. I don't care how well you can sing.
Hey, how come we didn't talk about who can sing in my movie?
Because everyone surprisingly could. So why do you like it? What actually? Because when you say that you like this for terrible reasons, what are your terrible reasons?
I like it that everyone in the movie is a terrible person. No one has really any redeeming qualities.
I mean, Alex Vega kind of does. She's really the only one who. I mean, she's just a nothing character. She's just an empty
she's
slate.
there to, yeah, just to,
She's there to have the plot happen to her.
yeah, to have a plot happen to her. But even her, she's
woman's
like,
role.
she's not like, let's actually leave and go. Well, I don't want to spoil it.
Spoil away. We
yeah,
spoil
we
everything.
do
That's
that.
why it's
Oh.
after the hype.
Okay.
And no one cares about this movie. Let's be honest.
Well, also, if you haven't seen it since and it was out in 2008,
You're not going to
yeah.
now. You're,
We do it 6 months later. If you
Yeah.
haven't seen it and it's out in 2014, we're spoiling it.
yeah.
Anyways, she's not like, let's go to the hospital. Like, she's just like standing there being like in front of a whole audience being like, help us, help us. And the whole audience is like, oh my God, this can't be real. We don't even care if it is. And we just sit there. People are terrible. And that's the moral of this movie.
I actually didn't watch it. Spoiler alert. But
I didn't watch yours,
I
so-
Wikipedia'd it, and it said it's like a gross out movie. Is that true? Does it gross you out when you're watching it? Is that
It's
the
a-
appeal of it?
It doesn't
Like,
gross me out, but it is very gothic and over the top with like blood and shit.
It's
and
cyber goth.
yeah.
It's a cyber goth film, and my defense for you is that they nailed the atmosphere.
Oh yeah, the whole
Nailed
world
it.
they create is fantastic.
that's important.
That's really the only thing. I mean, and yes, you are right. That is important, but that is the only thing that I actually enjoy about the movie. Is like, yeah, they did a really good job world building, but everything they put in the world is unwatchable.
Their lyricist, if I said that word right,
You did.
yeah, you
You
did.
did.
Good job.
Knocked it out of the park.
I don't know who he or she had to bang to be the lyricist for them, but they should never do it again.
Yeah.
They can't write songs. They wrote the Anatomy song. I love that song. The when doing the drugs. but every other one I'm just like, no, this doesn't even rhyme.
It was really, for me, it was like I joked about it earlier, the line that I will find a hole and fuck it as a way to like introduce a character. The characters just, there's like the level of like over the top where it's entertaining, and then they go over the top where it's bad and it's funny, and then there's that one more level where it's like, okay, now I'm just not in it anymore. And that's where they landed for like every character in the movie.
I will agree with that song. I hate particularly, like that's the one song I hate in it. But I really like Night Surgeon, which is basically when Anthony
Yeah,
is,
that one's more amusing.
Is that the
Yeah.
one where he cuts a stomach out of a guy, then reaches into his head and uses the puppet
Yeah,
to sing
I
a
do
harmony
love
with
that
him?
because he's
part.
split personality.
That's a
Yeah,
great moment.
that is a great moment.
I'll give you like that. There are like the thing is like, as much as I hate the movie because I think it's mostly unwatchable, they did put some cool things in there. Like they did like that sequence is kind of funny, and they did have Sarah Brightman in it, and they did do a good job with the world. But really, it's for me when I sit down and watch a movie, I want to like the plot, I want to like the singer, especially the musical. I want to like the singers, and like they missed the mark on all of that.
I will say, having rewatched it this afternoon, I liked it a lot more in 2008, which is when I saw it.
You shouldn't admit that yet. We haven't voted.
I don't care. No one's gonna vote for my movie.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I'm a realist. But I had also just started working in television, so my soul hadn't quite died yet, but I was a little bit bitter.
Right. Yeah, I went and saw this with a friend of mine at the Music Box in Chicago, and about halfway through, she leans over like, "So can we leave now? Because I really want to leave." And I'm like, "No, I paid full price. We're sitting through this fucking thing." It's like if I pay for a ticket, I'm gonna sit through the fucking movie, and I was just miserable the whole time, just like gnashing my teeth like with rage.
I liked the fandom for this movie. I mean,
Yeah.
when I saw it in theaters,
But the fandom
they
mostly
even
came
had-
from the stage play. Like it was
Yeah.
the people who loved
Yeah.
the theater
But
aspect
someone
of
had
it.
even made the outfit, the Repo Man outfit, and was wearing it in the theater when I went. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. But I think that's because he was a fan of the stage play where they wear the
I wish
same
I
thing.
could see the stage play.
I do too.
Never. I don't want to hear this music again. Never.
Well, if they
There's-
hire singers, maybe it sounds better.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That.
Also, there was a lot of rewriting that went on between the stage play and the movie version of it, because I've actually listened to the stage version of it,
Yeah.
and some of the songs are a lot better, in my opinion.
On the stage play.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, in the movie.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
They're so great.
Oh my god.
I know you love
Must
it
be
so
really
much.
bad.
It's the best thing ever.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like if they're better in the movie, they're like, oh wow, that's a
Yeah.
real bad thing for the play. Then.
Yeah.
I think. Now I'm
what's your
canning my own movie.
So what's your favorite thing in the movie? Like what's the main reason why when I said pick a favorite musical to choose, you were like Chorus Line. You wait, no, never mind. Repo the Genetic Opera.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I started out in musical theater, so I love tons of musicals. This
Right.
is really hard for me to pick one, and I chose A Chorus Line originally just because it had been in my head, like the song came in my head at the ballet. But then when I saw everyone else's musical choices, I was like, there's a theme, and a big part of musicals is the theme.
Fair point.
And also, originally I was gonna say Rocky Horror, and then Chewie stole mine. So,
I don't feel bad about that.
no, it's cool.
Clearly.
But
Could have done Moulin Rouge.
I thought about Moulin Rouge, but I kind of hate Moulin Rouge sometimes.
I might have vetoed Moulin Rouge.
Oh, what?
Sometimes
you let her
I
pick
w-
that, but you would have vetoed Moulin Rouge.
I probably would have vetoed Moulin Rouge.
Why? Because it
'Cause it's
doesn't
not
have
original
its own
music?
Yeah, because I
That's,
like
The poet one.
That's an interesting debate for another time.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm not getting into it.
yeah.
5 seconds left.
Sarah Brightman's awesome in it, and she stabs her eyes out.
That was a good ending.
That's a good ending. Yeah. Yeah. So that leaves me with what I clearly think is the best one at the table.
Yeah, Brian. Let's hear what you think is good.
that was such a great movie.
Is it gonna make? Are you angry about it?
a little bit.
Like an inch.
I'd high five you, but I can't
Oh,
reach.
jeez.
Why? Because you're only an inch tall.
I almost don't want to argue for my film anymore because I'm just so proud of that one joke.
And the audience will never see it.
If only we had cameras on our phones.
So my movie for today was Hedwig and the Angry Inch by John Cameron Mitchell, which came from his off-Broadway play a couple years before this movie, which did pretty well. People enjoyed it enough to where when he wanted to make a film out of it, they're like, yeah, I guess we'll give you some money. But mine's mostly about a guy who is, or girl I should say, who is stalking but not stalking her former lover as he goes on tour using all the songs that they wrote together, but he claims that he wrote them all himself. So Hedwig is going on tour around the country and performing all the same songs in venues, quotations, which is basically anywhere closest to the stadium he can get that will allow him to play music, and playing all the same songs as a way to kind of like attack him. And that's kind of like the setup for the film. And as the film goes, you basically find out everything about Hedwig's life. And it's all about how Hedwig went from being a small young German boy in East Berlin to being a woman in America who is just like downtrodden and just wants to be a musician, but everything is awful. And it's just that journey from A to B, and it's all about trying to find essentially your other half. And they go really on the nose with that, but I'm kind of okay with it. But they do a whole song about how like people were split in half. So either you're two guys or you're two girls or a guy and a girl, and you're split in half, and you need to find your other half in the world. And that's really what the whole movie is about. It's about him trying to find his complete person. And the whole movie takes place, and you kind of figure out as it goes that might not be the case. Maybe you don't need somebody else to be happy. And that's really like Hedwig's whole journey is through this whole thing. She finally figures out, no, I don't need anyone else to be happy. I need to be happy with me. And I kind of like that message. And I think they do a really good job selling that message. And Kara's giving me a frowny face. Why don't you like it?
Well, in all fairness, I gave up after 40 minutes, so maybe all that, like, finding yourself and being okay with yourself happens after that, but I was bored.
I don't know how you're bored in this movie.
That's
I
40
felt it
minutes
was
more than she
very-
gave mine, though.
Yeah, that's true.
That's true.
Because I honestly don't know how you're bored, because when I think
He's
of
such
musicals
a good
today,
singer.
The music was great. I
Yeah.
liked the music, and when it was the musical bits, great. But like in between, I was just like, I don't really want to watch this anymore.
I am just so captivated by the character Hedwig. Like, I could watch her do fucking anything. And like, I think they did such a great job making that character in this movie that it is just like the greatest thing ever to me. Like this, after I finished watching it today, I'm like, no, I think this is my favorite movie musical. And I chose it just because I thought it'd be a fun one to talk about, because I really like the music, and I saw it on Broadway with Darren Criss not that long ago, and I'm like, wow, that was fucking awesome. And then watching it again today, I'm like, no, I think this is my favorite one, because like, it does such a great job of just like stripping a person to their core, both like physically and literally. By the end of the movie, he's literally naked and walking in an alley, just like I've just stripped bare. And they do such a great job just like bringing the audience down with them to like that level where you actually like you start loving Hedwig in spite of her flaws. And it makes this like great thing of going, she's fucking horrible, like just horrible to people. And it's because she doesn't know herself yet. And they do such a great job making you feel like you can be a good person. It's in there somewhere, but you need to stop being such a shithead. And she realizes that at the same time as the audience. And it's just the way that it's crafted and goes in and out with each other the whole time. It's like, it kind of blows my mind how a first-time director was able to pull this off so well. And he starred in it him as well. So like the fact that he wrote it, directed it, and starred in it, like that is unbelievable in my opinion.
Yeah, that rarely works.
Yeah, like it rarely works, and especially to this degree.
You say those things in a row, like written, directed, and acted, and you're like, nah, that's gonna suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Normally
usually
it's just a giant eye roll.
Yeah.
and no, like like you feel like you're watching like a piece of John Cameron Mitchell like on screen. Like this is like his life, and the fact that he did a movie, and then did the play again. Like yes, this is his character, and he even
And none of this shit's easy.
no, none of it's easy, and he even did it before Darren Criss. He was on Broadway with it another time, so it was Neil Patrick Harris and Michael C. Hall. Then he did it again on Broadway. It's like that is beyond impressive. Like I am just so impressed by him as like a filmmaker and just artist in general, that watching him in this movie is just like, it's a treat. It is just a joy to be able to see somebody that good at their craft and just going away with it.
When you're talking about how like he crafted the character and everything, and when I was reading about it myself while we were watching it, it was interesting I was reading about like the creative process of creating creating Hedwig, and it says that originally he wanted the whole play to focus on Tommy,
Right.
because Tommy's
the former lover who stole the music.
yeah, and he's like all the aspects of Tommy is actually things he pulled from his life. He was raised by a general, he was gay, and he was like everything that Tommy embodies is actually what he used to be, like a big like choir church kid and everything. And he originally intended for him to be the main character. And Hedwig was inspired by a woman that actually did work for his family that was a prostitute as well as a babysitter. And just while they were like shopping it essentially in the like clubs and everything, when they were creating the characters and creating the storyline, he decided that he focused on Hedwig, and it was just interesting to read about how it shifted in the dynamic, that he found himself in this other character that is much different than what he was.
And the funny thing about that is, like, especially if you really read into the character, I mean, the way that Hedwig goes through the whole movie, she basically by the end of the film feels that she created her other half in Tommy, because Tommy was this church-going gay kid with a military father who she turned into a very confident gay man who's into the music and everything like that, and she basically made everything that she wanted to be in this other person, and then realized that the whole relationship was just fucked. Because you can't be with yourself. Like, you can't make what you want to be. You need to be who you are. And, like, so the fact that they kind of did that accidentally while making the play, I think is kind of interesting. I did not know that. So the thing that I have not mentioned at all, but we haven't really been mentioning that much, especially for a musical podcast, the songs in my show, I will listen to way more than any other songs on the table. And now, granted, Ryan's, he can name all of them off, and I go, I know every word to every one of those songs.
Yeah.
I
don't
will
listen to him for-
No.
What would Brian Botano do pretty much any time of day. I love that song.
Although sometimes I'll find myself humming that and be like, wait, why?
Yeah, exactly.
But why not?
Because they're pros at what they do. Damn it.
But no, like the songs in my show, they're catchy, they're fun, and then you start listening to like what they're actually saying. It's like, oh fuck, this is dark. And it does a really good job of being both dark and uplifting at the same time, which is the whole point of the whole show. Is like things suck, but they're also okay. Like, you're going to be fine, but things can be really awful at times.
That's the point of most good musicals to me.
Yeah. And if you pull it off well, it's like, wow. And like this movie, like it almost gets me to like the tearing up level, and nothing really bad happens in it. Like at the end of the thing, it's almost just kind of status quo. It's just now that she realizes, oh, this is just the status quo, and like that's almost heartbreaking in a way of like, oh, this is just my life and I need to accept that this is my life. But it's also kind of beautiful in a way that it's like, oh, like I've built this. This is who I am and I can do it now. Like, that's kind of awesome.
Well, the big message I got from it while watching it with you is so much of Hedwig's life is other people controlling her and telling her what to do and her just trying to survive. Mm-hmm. And and then after like she has a relationship and then she has the new relationship with the girl, it's like constantly her trying to take the control back.
Oh yeah, she's constantly trying to control.
And that's where she gets to be a horrible person.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, I feel like she finally realizes that she can be in control of herself without needing to control the people around her.
Well, there's a theory that I was reading online when I was trying to prepare for this, is that she has a girlfriend that dresses as a man, and was a man who dresses as a woman. But the theory is that Hedwig makes his girlfriend dress as a man. Like, I want to be seen with a man. Because the whole thing, throughout the whole play, there's this like underline that whenever she sees one of Hedwig's wigs, she wants to put it on and be a woman. And he's always like, no, you got to keep the beard and you're a man. So it's at the end of the show, he finally is like, he gives her a wig and she goes off and be's a woman and just leaves Hedwig behind because he realizes what he's doing. It's like, it's kind of a beautiful moment.
Yeah.
But I liked the amount of like control. It's all about power and control. And like, it's all in there.
You just got to give it up.
Yeah, there's so many layers to this movie, and there's a fucking hour and a half. It flies by. The music's great. I love this shit out of this movie, and I kind of forgotten how much I loved it until I rewatched it today.
That's a good sale.
Yeah, everyone should watch it. It's fantastic. Just not like I did for the first time with my dad in some bullshit theater. That got real awkward real fast.
So Brian, you want to leave? Or?
All right, that's it. All right, so now we get to the wonderful process where we get to vote for everything but repo.
Whatever.
Sorry, I had to get one more dig in there. Okay, so let's go in the same order that we went. So we'll recap really quick. We had, who went first? You went first, right?
No, I went first.
No, you went first. Little Shop of Horrors.
Yep.
And then we did Rocky Horror Picture Show. Then South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut. Repo the Genetic Opera. I can speak words. And then Hedwig and the Angry Inch. Again, I can speak words. Words.
I'm going to pick South Park.
South Park?
It came around. I saw it at the right time. That's the thing. I saw it at the right time. I was the right age for the right humor. The songs are catchy. It manages to blend a modern sensibility with old style musical, like the way the songs are constructed.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's funny. Like
it is funny.
And I give the points to that for this.
I have to go with Hedwig. Or I have to go with Hedwig.
That sounds better.
Because
What?
it's the film that has the most emotional punch, and honestly, I think we'll have other than my movie, we'll have the longest lifespan.
Well, it's because I just keep redoing it. I think.
Yours or mine?
Yeah, mine.
Well, it's because even if you are not a transgendered or transsexual person, you can relate to the pain that she goes through.
Oh, yeah.
Just the trying to find your identity and trying to deal with it in a world that might not understand you. Anyone can relate to that.
Yeah. So then it was...
I'll go with repo because none of this matters.
Interesting.
Fair enough.
If we have a tie, I'm going to be so PO'd.
I know.
That's all Ryan wants to do is create a tie.
Just create.
You're the
friction
tie maker.
as much as I can. Do you want me to vote for?
If you want to vote for Repo,
It's
vote-
too late.
Vote,
It's
vote
too
for
late.
Repo. That is your
It's
choice.
kind of weird for you to.
Once you've
seen
said it, once you've said it, that's it.
you have to watch it now.
It's like letting go of the chess piece.
Well, I've only seen 2 of them, unfortunately,
No.
including mine. Mine and yours.
I'm going to vote for Rocky Horror Picture Show then.
Okay. Then I'll also vote for Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have no problem with that one winning.
Yay!
Even though I don't think it's the best movie ever, I will say that it wins strictly on theater-going
yeah,
experience.
it-
Theater-going experience
And
it
lifespan.
fucking wins.
No one would argue that it didn't deserve to win tonight.
Absolutely not. On theater-going experience alone, it is one of the greatest films ever because it is the best movie to see in theaters.
Yeah, I think on sales pitch alone, you would have won for Hedwig just because you said you fucking loved it so many
I
times.
really do love that movie.
You really made of all the ones at the table, you made me want to see yours the most.
Have you never seen Rocky Horror?
I've seen Rocky Horror. That's what I was
Okay.
saying. Yours, I think there was a microphone in the way. Yours and mine are the only ones at the table. I've seen.
Okay. I'd be just getting through life not seeing that movie is just weird to me.
Not seeing Rocky
I've
Horror.
met
Not seen
2
Rocky
people
Horror.
who haven't seen it. And
Were those the last 2 people? Because
They just don't know the glory of fishnets then.
All right, so I'll bring this episode to a close with Rocky Horror being our winner, which makes sense. Next week, we have our best of 2015. I think it's far enough out of 2015 where it's considered after the hype now, where we can talk about it.
2015's over.
Yeah, we're going to do that episode a little bit different, but I'm going to save that for next week when you actually hear how it unfolds. But I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to work out really well. And then the week after that, we're doing a little bit of a throwback back to the 90s, 97, if you
that'll
will.
be fun.
We get to go on a big boat, a grand journey that will go oh so well for everyone on the boat.
I hope that episode doesn't sink.
Love Boat?
Yeah, no, yep, it's Love Boat.
It was a movie that really wanted Enya.
There was definitely love on the boat.
Yeah, there's some love on the boat.
And then Enya said no, and they told James Horner, "Do your best, Enya."
Can I propose something, Brian?
Yeah.
If anybody has made it to the end of this episode and is listening to this right now and really wants to participate, I think that you could figure out a way to submit the best of anything for next week.
Yeah, that's fine
And
with
we'll
me.
include it in the podcast. If you can make a short voice recording or even type up something, we'll read it ourselves.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you to Kara for coming out.
Thanks, Cara.
Woo!
And then thanks for everyone else for always being here.
Sure, whatever.
Yeah,
It's
whatever.
fun.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
See you later.
Bye.
Double feature picture show in the back row. To the late night double feature picture